Well, people wanted me to count down my favorite teams from 1 to 31 again, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it while the power's out and hopefully before my battery dies on my computer. Number one, no surprise to anybody, the Vancouver Canucks. Because they're the local team, they're the team I'm cheering for. Do I expect them to do anything this year? Absolutely not. Number two, Boston Bruins. Boston is and always will be my favorite team in the East. That's just how it is. Brad Marchand notwithstanding. Number three, Dallas. So those are the big three. Those are the three that I'm always cheering for in order. But when those three teams play against each other, who I cheer for will probably depend on who needs to win more, who's in a better playoff spot, who's in a playoff spot, that kind of thing. So let's say Dallas is in a playoff spot and Boston's just tanking. I'm going to cheer for Dallas in that game because it's more important that they win it. Number four, Ottawa. The Ottawa Senators are always at number four. They can't pass the top three, but they don't drop past three. Or past four. Number five, Columbus Blue Jackets. Because they're fun to watch. Good young team. Number six, the Washington Capitals. The Capitals won me over last year, and then they reminded me why it's hard to be a Capitals fan. It's really, really hard to be a Capitals. It's really hard to be a Capitals fan. Number seven, Tampa. Tampa had an incredible run in the second half of the season, which almost yielded them a playoff spot, but didn't quite. More's the pity. Number eight, Winnipeg Jets. I think Winnipeg's going to do well this year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's how you straddle the line, boys and girls. Number nine, Carolina. So Carolina, and I'll just to alleviate any confusion. Number nine, Carolina. I'm anxious to see how they do this year. I am. I think I predicted playoffs. I believe Sportscaster predicted playoffs. Hockey News predicted playoffs. And I've heard other commentators predict playoffs, so we'll see. Number 10, Nashville. I hopeful that Nashville will have a good run this year, but we'll see. 11, come on, Buffalo. Now's the time to stop rebuilding and get back into playoff shape. Number 12 is Toronto. And, before anybody asks, number 13 is the Oilers. These teams would have been and were at or near the bottom for a long, long time. They're both a lot of fun to watch. I enjoy watching them, but keep in mind, there are still other teams I'm cheering for ahead of them that they will play regularly. So, when I watch their games, I'm probably going to be a tortured soul. Number 14, I have the New York Rangers. The Rangers are a team that I enjoy watching as well. I have high hopes that Lundqvist can go out on a winning note, but at the same time, I have to be realistic. 15 is the expansion Vegas Golden Knights. And that's just a preliminary where I think I'll be cheering for them. Odds are, by the end of the year, they could end up being top 5. Win or lose. It doesn't really matter if they win or lose. It's more about what they're building and what kind of team they are and how much fun they are to watch. But Vegas is ahead of the middle anyways. 16, Minnesota. And Minnesota's been a lot lower than 16. I like the Minnesota Wild for what they're doing. I don't know how successful they're going to be in year 2 under their new coach, but we'll see, won't we? Number 17. These guys, I believe, have moved up. New Jersey. Because Corey Schneider reasons. 18. St. Louis. And keep in mind, I don't dislike any of these teams. 19. The Coyotes. Who hopefully win a few more games this year than they did last year. 20 is Florida. Florida's dropped precipitously over the last season. I'm yeah, the direction the franchise took last summer really put me off. And even though Talon's back, I don't know that I'm on any bandwagon with them or off of any bandwagon. I don't have a whole lot of interest in them this year. 21's Philly, because they're Philly. I may love their logo, but I'm not enamored with the team. 22 is Calgary. Calgary fans won't like that. Islander fans won't like being at 23 either. But I'm not into teams that I dislike yet, which is funny because at 24, you have Chicago. Oh, Chicago's dropped back down. They're middle of the pack. I'm cheering for them is gone for Chicago. Down to 25. It sucks being left-handed sometimes. 25 is Detroit, which is higher than they would have been back in the early 2000s, as well as for Colorado, who are at 26. Now we're getting into the teams that I'm probably not going to be cheering for in the coming season. Starting with at number 27, Pittsburgh. And Penguins fans are going to be like, really, we're that high? Yes. When 28 is LA. Yeah, LA moved up. 29 is Montreal. Yeah, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. 30 is San Jose. And at 31... At 31, for 3 videos running, it's the Anaheim Ducks. So there you go. There's my favorite teams in the NHL 1 through 31. Just a fun little countdown thing that I'm doing here again. And I'll probably revisit it, say at mid-season. But the top doesn't really change much and the bottom doesn't change much. It's the middle where there's all kinds of movement based on where I'd like to see a team finish, players that teams have, and just which would be a really good feel-good story. So you're going to notice a lot of underdogs up at the top, teams that missed the playoffs up near the top, and a lot of teams that have won the cup recently in my bottom 10, because I always cheer for underdogs. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.